I happened to arrive home before Jean does today. I am a little surprised. He usually gets home before me, and I did stop at the library. But sometimes he is late, especially if his project is across town. I look at our kitchen and consider what we should have done or have for dinner. I'm hungry, but I can't decide what I want to cook. It seems like figuring out what to cook is the hardest part of cooking at times. I go through our pantry and refrigerator to see what we have. Noodles, cans of soup, fruit, bread, sour cream. A can of whipped cream. That might get used later for dessert. In the back of the fridge, I find a container full of something. I begin coughing violently on cracking the lid. I had forgotten about those leftovers. After disposing of the health hazard, I continue my search. I stop on finding some uncooked hamburger. That opens up lots of possibilities. I double-check the cans of soup again, and we see we have cream of mushroom. Perfect. Cream of mushroom, sour cream, hamburger, and noodles are all I need for a quick meal. I start browning the hamburger. I am still cooking when Jean arrives home.
Hey, hun, still a good enough night?
Yes. I give him a tender kiss. Thank you for the flowers, my love. He smiles.
I thought you might need a pick-me-up.
I didn't, but I still appreciate the thought. And I planned out a date for us after dinner.
Oh, what kind of plans?
The kind that involves airplanes and time travel. He looks at me questioningly. Jean throws a paper airplane off the balcony. Look at it go.
Oops. That's another that made it all the way to the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, we'll need to go over there soon and tell them so we can pick them up.
This was a really great idea, hun. Thank you for coming up with it.
Aw, thank you. I was hoping you would have fun.
I am. Check out this design.
He points to a page in the book. Oh, that looks really complicated. Want to try it together?
Of course.
And if you look, you will not find me.
That was the craziest, trippiest time travel movie I have ever seen. It was great.
I set the empty popcorn bowl on the floor. I'm glad you liked it. The synopsis sounded like something you'd enjoy.
If that was a reference, I didn't get it.
I have, sir.
I absolutely did. I'm going to have to see it again to figure it all out.
Tonight?
You didn't like it?
It was okay, not really my thing. I would be fine watching it again, just not twice on the same night. I smile as Jean holds me while I lay in his arms. After a few minutes, I turn to see if Jean might be interested in having sex, but his eyes are closed and I realize his breathing is steady. I'm a little surprised he fell asleep so quickly at this hour. He's such a night owl. Work must have been busier than usual for him today. I lay my head on his chest and snuggle with him while he sleeps on the couch.
October, year 15. 15 of 40.
Hey, Mom, we're here. Oh, you two are early.
I picked Yuri up from work, and if we went home, we'd just have to turn right back around. So we decided to come over now.
My mom is taking Jean and I out to dinner tonight. We finally have enough money in the baby fund that tomorrow we're going to go to an adoption agency and start filing out paperwork. Filling. Why do I keep reading this filing? To be honest, we are both a little nervous. The $50,000 we have saved is a bit below the average cost of an adoption. But that's only on an average. Also, it will take quite some time for all the background checks and paperwork to go through, during which we will continue to save. Although we're still probably a year away from taking a child home with us, tomorrow will be a huge step towards our goal. On hearing about it, my mom wanted to celebrate, hence why she is taking us out. So, are your parents excited about the adoption too, Jean?
Yes, but they're a bit concerned about us moving too quickly. My father thinks we should focus on buying a house first. And financially it would make sense.
It also would look good on the applications.
That too, however. We're concerned about our age as well.
You two aren't that old. You're only 33, Yuri. Yes, but Jean is 35 now. Still plenty young.
Yeah, that's not that old.
It seems like lots of couples have kids later in life now. Except...
It's not just a matter of us selecting a child.
We have to be chosen ourselves, and given a choice between a young family with many years ahead of them.
And someone like me that will already be pushing 50 when a baby graduates from high school.
Time isn't on our side. We feel now is the best chance we will ever have. Well, I am very excited for you two, of course. And any judge that can see how well you do with care for a child doesn't deserve to sit on the bench. I mean, it said can't. Dum-dum. Thanks, Mom, but I think you're a bit biased. Maybe, but let's not worry about that right now. Tonight, we'll celebrate. Let's leave now so we can beat the rush. Sounds good to me.
So, should we just follow you, or...
Nonsense. There's no point in wasting gas when we can just go together. Mom has a point. Since he has longer legs, Jane sits in the passenger seat while I go get in the back. So where are you taking us anyway? I found a cute little tea shop called the Shanghai a while back. We're going there. Never heard of it. It isn't local. That's one reason I wanted to carpool. It's a bit of a drive. But it's the kind of place you would love, Yuri. Oh, do they do tea ceremonies there? I've always loved those. No, inside it looks traditional enough that you would think they do. However, it's more like a cafe that serves all kinds of teas, sandwiches, and desserts.
So, what kind of sand...
Look out for that!
Look out for that truck!
I wake up hurting all over, especially my leg. At first I'm a little confused, wondering why I'm in a hospital room. I slowly begin to remember the accident. I can't remember much. There was an oncoming truck that apparently lost control. It swerved into our lane. Mom tried to swerve out of its way, but it hit us almost head on, and then... I was here. Obviously, I must have lost consciousness. I begin to take stock of my situation. I'm all alone in the hospital room, so most likely Mom and Jane were hurt as well, otherwise they'd be here. My left leg is in a cast. I'm guessing it must be broken. They have me hooked up to IVs and what feels like a catheter. I can move my limbs, which is a good sign. I ache all over. My leg is especially sore, but I don't feel any sharp pain anywhere. That, along with the fuzziness in my head, means I'm probably on some pretty strong pain meds. I don't see my glasses anywhere nearby. They are probably lost or broken. That makes seeing difficult, but I don't think I'm going anywhere soon, so they aren't a priority right now. Since it seems like my life isn't in immediate danger, my concern turns to Jean and my mother. How badly hurt were they? I find the call button on the side of my bed and press it. Yes? My throat is dry, it's hard to talk. Me? I am trying to ask about my family, but that's the best I can do right now. I hope the nurse understands. Oh, you're awake. I'll let the doctor know. I try again. How's family? I don't know. Is there anything I can get you? Water? There's a slight delay. Yes, I can get you some water. A few minutes later, the nurse comes in with a small cup of water. It was a male nurse. He puts the straw near my mouth for me.
Just little sips to start with.
I suck on the straw more than I should have and begin coughing as I choke. The nurse takes the water away.
Careful.
Okay. And just getting my mouth moistened has helped me a lot. Thanks.
Of course. How's your pain on a scale of 1 to 10?
A 4.
Anywhere specific?
My leg, of course, but I hurt all over. He makes some notes in the computer. I feel myself getting drowsy and begin closing my eyes.
Go ahead and rest for a bit if you want. The doctor will see you soon.
Okay. I don't really sleep, but I do doze a little. I'm not certain how long I wait before I am startled awake by the door opening. My head feels much less fuzzy than it was before.
Ah, good. You're awake.
My family.
It's good you have questions, but I need to ask you some first. What is your name?
Yuri, don't you know?
I am trying to check your knowledge and comprehension. Do you know where you are?
A hospital. St. Vincent's, I'd guess.
Yes, that's right. Do you know what day it is?
Tuesday. At least, it was when we got hit.
Close enough. It's Wednesday, the next day.
He keeps asking me questions as he checks my extremities. He made certain I was able to feel and move all my fingers and toes.
So you have a broken leg and a concussion. Because of the concussion, we want to keep you for observation for at least a day or maybe two.
My mom and husband, they were in the car with me. Are they okay? He sighs.
Your mother didn't make it.
No. I begin to tear up.
I'm sorry for your loss.
And Jean, my husband?
Your husband is alive, but he is in intensive care.
Jean is still alive. For now. How bad is he? Is he going to make it? Can I talk to him? Say goodbye to him?
Unless something unexpected happens, he will live.
I breathe a sigh of relief.
He's awake. I've been worried about you, to be honest. However, he badly injured his spine and will most likely be paralyzed for life.
The doctor keeps talking for a bit about the details of Jean's condition, but my mind is having trouble comprehending most of what he says.
This is a lot to take in, I know.
When can I see him?
Once we're certain you're okay with yourself. For now, let your body recover. Tomorrow, we will talk about when you will be released. But before then, I am also going to have one of our grief counselors talk to you as well.
Grief counselor?
Yes, you suffered a serious loss. They will also be able to help you with the final arrangements.
Of course.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, not right now.
Okay then.
He leaves my room, and I try to process everything that has happened. Will Jane ever be able to come home? How am I going to care for him and still work? How will we afford even basic necessities with just my job? Can we still adopt? I enter Jane's room a couple of days later. I just got discharged, and this has been my first chance to visit him since the accident. I am still not used to using crutches. He looks at me with his eyes and smiles as he sees me, but doesn't otherwise move.
Hey, hun.
I want to rush up and embrace him, but I am scared about hurting him. Hello, my love. I just stand there, uncertain of what to say or do. He is hooked up to the various monitors, IVs, and something that makes a repetitive hissing noise. I notice that the bed he is in is slowly tilting him from side to side. I watch as it tilts him away from me, so we can't see each other. I hobble over to the far side of the bed, but by then it is already rolled back.
Sorry, it does that.
I sit down in a chair and wait for it to roll back.
I'm glad to see you up and about, even with that bruise on your face. I was worried when you wouldn't wake up in the car.
A bad knock and a broken leg. Given what happened, I'm relatively unscathed. Did they tell you about my mom yet?
They didn't have to. I knew she didn't survive before they pulled us out.
I didn't know he had remained unconscious through the entire accident. I wish I knew what to say. I reach out and hold his hand. It feels warm and alive, but unresponsive. We just sit there looking at each other as best we can, with the bed rocking back and forth. I silently wonder what we will do. It is the day of my mother's funeral. It was a lot of work setting up, especially since I had to do everything myself. It didn't help that my phone was destroyed in the accident, and all my contacts had been on it. I tried to include Jean in making decisions as much as I could, but we both know it was just make work for him. I really wish he could be here with me right now, but of course, he is still in the hospital. I am so alone right now. I had to come early to work out some final details. But even when others arrive, it will be a small crowd. Besides myself, my mom has no surviving relatives. That means it will just be me and some of her friends. In the chapel, I see some pews roped off with a sign telling people they are reserved for family. I don't want to sit there all by myself. Alone. I remove the ropes and signs.
I am so sorry for your loss. Your mother was such a wonderful woman.
Thank you. She always enjoyed your games of golf together. Did she ever...
Well, wait, is this Sayori or is it a mourner?
Did she ever tell you about the time we were... Excuse me, there's someone here I really need to speak with. Oh, of course. I hobble over towards Sayori with my crutches.
Okay, to Sayori.
Hey, Sayori, I'm glad you could make it. Sorry it was late. I give her a quick hug. That's okay. Like I said, I'm glad you couldn't be here at all. Or, wait, could be here is what it said, wasn't it? Yeah, could be here at all. Is it just you? I don't see MC or the kids. Yeah, I came alone. I'm glad you made it at least. I sit down on a nearby pew. It's difficult to stand for long on only one leg. Zoe sits down next to me. So how is Gene? You haven't said much after telling us he is paralyzed. I sigh. That pretty much sums him up. The good news is that he didn't actually break any vertebrae. They aren't certain why he's paralyzed and suspect his spine got wrenched. He still has no feeling or movement below his neck. If there is anything I can do. I know. Unfortunately, there is nothing to do right now for Jane. We're taking things one day at a time. But what about you? What about me? My leg is a clean break that should heal fine, and there doesn't seem to be any permanent damage from the concussion. No, what about you? Jane is in the hospital and you've lost your mom. That's a lot to have on your plate all at once. You look terrible, and I don't just mean your leg and bruises. When was the last time you slept or ate? I look down. I don't want to admit that between Jane, planning the funeral, and dealing with my mom's estate, I've had nothing but catnaps and vending machine snacks for the past week.
You got all that done in a week? That's a lot.
That's what I thought. Go home, read a book, have some tea. I'll stop by later with dinner. But No buts! But what did I just say about no buts? What about Jane? I haven't visited him yet today. Tell him I'm a meanie who won't let you visit. He won't believe that. You're right. He'll know I'm forcing you to take care of yourself because you're not doing it on your own. I try to scowl at her, but my heart isn't in it. I know she's right. Jane has even mentioned the past few days that I look exhausted. I sigh. I don't have the luxury of just sitting back and... It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. But what if Jane needs me? The doctors and nurses can care for him better than you can. What if something happens and these are my last days with him? Sayori hugs me. Then you will need to go on without him, no matter how much you don't want to. I don't want to go on without him. The thought that had never even entered my conscious thoughts before. Yeah, the thought had never entered my conscious thoughts before, but now that Sayori vocalized it, I can tell it's been buried deep within me ever since the accident. Am I intentionally burning myself out so that if, when he dies, I'll follow him? I start to cry on Sayori's shoulder. I don't want to be alone again. What am I going to do? You're going to go home, relax, and let me bring you dinner. You will visit Jean tomorrow, but not the entire day, so that you have time to care for yourself. That way, when Jean comes home, even if he's still paralyzed, you'll be able to help him as best you can. She said, when he comes home. For some reason, the stress, adrenaline, and sheer willpower had been running on the past week or leave me, and I'm left with just the exhaustion. I'm suddenly so tired that, even though I'm already sitting, I practically collapse onto Sayori. How can you be so optimistic about something like this? Years of practice. Come on, let's go. I can't leave. I need to stay and talk to everyone. Nope. But everyone here wants to help you, and if you just tell them you need to go home, they'll understand. I look around and see that almost everyone has already left, and the few that remain have apparently heard our conversation and are getting ready to leave. Thank you. I can barely get the words out. It's the least I can do. Especially since you saved my life at least twice. What? I said I hope you like rice. It's what I'm bringing you for dinner tonight. I smile. Sounds great. I stand there with my crutches, and Sayori helps me out of the church.
And on that tragic note, we will end that session and pick up with more of this later. Goodness. You know, Consequences Mod, who developed this, said that he thinks the majority of it is happy. I guess we'll just see what the ratio is like, because we do still have a long way to go, but gee whiz. Anyway, like I said, that'll do it for now, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time with more Pages of Life. Hope to see you then. Bye-bye.